YouTube, what is going on? Panda here, and this is something a little bit new that I'm starting to do. Pro wrestling reviews. I am an avid pro wrestling fan. I do watch multiple products across multiple platforms, so on and so forth. So pretty much what I'm going to be doing is my very first review of an event. This obviously is one of my favorite promotions, a New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is the Kizuna Road 2019. Just happened today, earlier on, as you see the times down there for American audiences. Uh, I ended up watching it after the event was over, but yeah. So, anyways, I'm here to do a review for it. Guys, the image that you see will be the image that is up, and it's going to be up the whole video. So if you would like to, pretty much what I'm doing is this is for you to listen in like the background. If you're doing like work or something, if you would give me a few minutes of your time for me to talk about professional wrestling and my personal thoughts on some of the things that are going on either in WWE should be interesting, and other promotions across the world that I actually keep up with. But anyways, New Japan. New Japan came out with a huge announcement. This is the one where the G1 Climax 29, all the entrants, who the fighters were, the blocks, everything was revealed on this show, and I got to tell you what a list of wrestlers. They call them fighters, which I respect a lot personally. They don't call them sports entertainers and all the other crap. So definitely love New Japan and their respect for their professional wrestlers, that they actually call them fighters. But anyways, like I said, the G1 Climax 29 roster was revealed. I will actually go over that at the very end because I am super excited for this G1 this year. I'm always excited for G1. G1 is one of the most physically demanding and brutal tournaments in professional wrestling right now. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and kick off this pay-per-view review. I'm just going to run down the cards, who won, who lost. So first match, we actually start off with two young lions. Yoto Tsuji and Yaya Umehara. Sorry, I'm probably going to butcher a lot of these names, Japanese names, but just bear with me, guys. These two young lions, they normally start off. I know they started off Dominion last week. They've been starting off a couple of matches here and there. They were both 3-3-21, which is 3 wins, 3 losses, and 21 draws, because they do a time limit, kind of like NWA style time limit. So they would always over wrestle the 10-minute time limit. So New Japan president actually gave them 15 minutes, so 5 extra minutes, and they've actually been like able to finish matches. I think they both were like 0-0 and 21, or maybe 1-1 and 21. But either way, since the president of New Japan, they gave them 5 extra minutes, they have actually been pinning each other and whatnot. But anyways, Tutsi starts working the arm on Yunara, counters and takes him down. Tutsi fires up, hits a shoulder tackle, and then follows with strikes. The flying forearm and hit toss connect for 2, a near fall. Tutsi grounds the action, attacking the lower back, and covers for 2. One thing about New Japan that I really like is the not only the strongman style, but a lot of work on like the injured parts of the body. They really do that. They can settle things down, kind of work the body and everything, which I appreciate in professional wrestling, especially that modern day wrestling. They really don't do that. There's a lot of high flying, high spots, and a lot of just running around and all that other crap. But anyways, Yorihara fires back with chops. They trade, and Yorihara hits the drop kick. He lays and strikes and chops a corner drop kick and then a slam covering for a 2, so another near fall for Yumahara. They trade strikes. They like to do the forearm strikes. I'm a fan of it because I do know the strong man style. That is the style I was trained in the dojo in Tokyo. This is where these guys train. But I do have to say that the forearm strikes are getting a little old. I think mainly because it is legitimately practiced everywhere throughout professional wrestling. You really don't see a lot of the normal punches, quote unquote, that you used to back in like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. You start to see a lot of forearm strikes. I guess because it looks more devastating. I don't know. But it's definitely outplayed. And the Japanese, the strongman style, absolutely loves their forearm strikes. So it'd just be... Oh, that's all it is. So anyways, Tsuji lays and chops and then hits a running drop kick. The power slam connects for a 2. So another near fall. Yumahara counters the crab into a cradle. Tsuji cuts off with a spear and then the Boston Crab submission move. Yumahara powers up, but Tsuji sits on his back and pulls him to the center ring, and Yumahara taps. So Tsuji defeated Yamahara in 8 minutes and 55 seconds via submission. I'm also going to do a rating out of like 5 stars. I'm going to give this a 2. They are showing a lot of development as far as their training in the actual dojo. Like I said, they did a lot of ground attacks, a lot of body work, a lot of like NWA 80s style wrestling that you'll see. There was not many high spots. I think the highest that they got was a drop kick. So, they didn't leave their feet a lot as far as going onto the top rope and doing splashes, backflips, or anything. All that is stupid crap. So, but anyways, it was good to see a submission. So I give it about 2 stars. 2 stars out of 5. It was a good opener for what it was. Alright, next up, guys, we have a 6-man tag. We have Tomohiro Ishii, Tamayuki Hamna, and Rin Narita versus Taichi, Kenimaru, and Doki. Okay. To be honest, I'm looking at my notes, and I don't remember much about this match. So, I'm going to say it was pretty boring. Anyways, Naruto attacks before the bell of the heels. Which I do have to say, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the heels and the baby faces are very blurred lines, because the crowd just cheers everybody because they appreciate the art of professional wrestling, not necessarily like who's good and who's bad. So sometimes you can get confused on exactly who is a heel and who's a babyface, unless the heels do like legit heel moves and the babyfaces do, legit babyfaces. Anyways, Narita attacks before the bell but gets cut off by Suzuki. Gun takes control until Hamna makes the save. Plancha by Naruto, and back in lays the boots to Doki, breaks the eyes and dumps him to the floor, allowing Kenimaru to attack. Taichi hits Ishii with a chair shot and then chokes him out with a cable. Oh, okay, yes. The Pitbull match. Ishii. I am not a fan of this guy. I understand that he is very popular in Japan. I can't get behind him. He's 20-year vet. He's an old guy, and he is slow as molasses. He needs to retire, and yeah, he needs to retire. But anyways, so Taichi, I love Taichi because he's like the Phantom of the Opera style guy. But yeah, Taichi hits Ishii with a chair shot and then chokes him out with a cable. He rolls Naruto back in, and Kenimaru lays the boots to him. The apron kick follows, and Taichi tags in. He grounds the action, laying in kicks and covering for 2. Doku tags back in and follows with a running double stomp for 2. Kanemaru in and continues the attack. He avoids the drop kick once, but Narita hits it in the second try. Nama tags in and lays in the chops, and Kanemaru. Taichi cuts off Kokishi, but Hamna cuts him off and hits him with a Kokishi. Kokishi for Kamararu. Flying Kokishi follows, and Ishii and Taichi tag in. Taichi lays in kicks, which pisses Ishii off. Big Tom is fired up and lays in chops. Taichi rakes the eyes, but Ishii mows him down. Taichi fires back with an enziguri, but Ishii hits a Saito suplex. And Naruto gets the tag and runs wild on Suzuki Gun. Taichi counters the suplex. Doku in, and Naruto catches him with an overhead toss. Kanemaru saves Taichi, and the head kick connects for 2. They dump Hamna. Oh, that's right. Hamna is the comedy wrestler. The pants are off, but Naito cradles Taichi for 2. The backslide gets 2. Taichi hits the axe bomber for 2. A super kick finishes Narita. Suzuki Gun defeated Tomohiro Ishii, Tamika Hamna, and Rin Narita at 11:55 via pin. I can't get behind the Iron Pitbull. I really can't. Ishii, every single time he's in the ring, I want to fall asleep because he just moves so slow. So slow. I'm not a fan of him. I know a lot of people in New Japan are. I just can't get behind this guy, and I really do hope he retires, because you could definitely tell he has lost a lot of his juice back. I mean, you can just go back 2 years ago. He was a lot faster just 2 years ago when he had that G1 match with Kenny Omega, which was a really great match. I do have to say, Kenny Omega definitely carried that match. You could tell, but Ishii, he needs to step out of the ring and do something else. Next match, another 6-man tag. The opening match was the only one-on-one. All these are tags because I know they're getting pumped up for G1 special. Also, tomorrow will be the next, like, part 2, quote-unquote, of the Kizuna Road 2019. Part 1 was today. Part 2 will be tomorrow. More championships on the line, but I will review that tomorrow as well. Another 6-man tag. Juice Robinson, love that guy. Mickey Nichols, he's a good guy too. And Taguchi. Okay, I'm going to rant about this dude a little, just for a little bit. Taguchi, I'm not a big fan of. He's the rugby guy. I don't even know if he really plays rugby in real life, because a lot of these guys do legitimately, they do mixed martial arts, or they'll do, they're athletes outside of pro wrestling as well. Taguchi, I get it, but he's another comedy wrestler. I'm not big into comedy wrestling, especially when you're paired up with Juice Robinson and Mickey Nichols, which are two serious wrestlers. I mean, Juice Robinson just went through a hell of a match with Jon Moxley for the IWGP United States Championship, and he's tagged with Taguchi. So I don't like him. He does like this weird spot where he'll get onto the middle rope, or rope number 2. He'll be bent over, assuming the position pretty much as he's holding on, and then his partners will Irish whip the opponents from one corner into his corner, and they'll run their face into his ass. And I don't get it. I don't get the spot. I'm sure there's something there that was explained that maybe I missed, but I'm not a big fan of Taguchi. But either way. But anyways, Juice Robinson, Mickey Nichols, and Taguchi versus Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Jaido. That's the Bullet Club, just in case you guys don't know. The Gorillas of Destiny, one of my favorite tag teams. Personally, I am a Bullet Club guy. I don't care what you guys say. Bullet Club's my number 2 faction in professional wrestling. My number 1 faction just happens to be the Undisputed Era in NXT until WWE ruins them. But either way, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are my 2 favorite, one of my favorite tag teams of modern day wrestling. I like the Revival. I like them. The Guerrillas of Destiny. I did like the Golden Lovers before they split up. That was Kenny Omega and Ibushi. And I'd have to say that that's pretty much it. I'm not a big Young Bucks fan. I know a lot of people like Young Bucks, but no, not my thing. Jado is a manager. Clearly not a wrestler, and you could tell he wasn't a wrestler. But anyways, Bullet Club attack before the bell, and they brawl to the floor. And then they isolate Juice back into the ring. The Guerrillas of Destiny work double teams, but Nichols in and makes the save. Nichols looked fantastic, by the way. Big old Texas boy. He and Juice work double teams, tag in Taguchi, and triple teams follow the Taguchi, covering for a 2. Taguchi calls the plays. He's supposed to be like the coach. He's like doing like these weird baseball-like arm signals, and like the wrestlers like are supposed to know what he's talking about. But anyways, Taguchi calls the plays, but Juice gets slammed into his ass, and then the same for Nichols. Yeah, they were going to do that spot I just told you about where he's hung up over the ropes, but instead of the opponents taking it, which would be the Guerrillas of Destiny, it was actually Juice Robinson and Mickey Nichols. I honestly don't think the Guerrillas of Destiny would have wanted to take that spot. I think they would have been pretty pissed. The Jado then canes Taguchi in the ass. Jado comes out with this kidno stick because he's a manager. Pretty much like Jim Cornette did with the tennis racket. He follows with a slam. And Aloha hits a Senton Atomico for a 2. He slams Tamaguchi to the buckles. Tonga tags in and headbutts Tajuki's ass, stunning himself. Yeah, I do remember that. I just shook my head because I know the Guerrillas of Destiny are better than this. Jado tags in, and a Bullet Club triple teams follow as they work the ass of Taguchi for a cover 2. Yeah, I do remember that. Cane shot by Jado. Juice makes the save and works over all 3 with jabs. Guerrillas of Destiny cut him off and dump him, but Nichols takes out the Guerrillas of Destiny. The plancha follows. Taguchi cradles Jado, gets the ankle lock, and Jado taps. So Juice Robinson, Mickey Nichols, and Taguchi defeat the Guerrillas of Destiny at 9:05, 9 minutes and 5 seconds via submission. Jado is very out of shape. He was a wrestler years ago in New Japan, a pretty good wrestler, and you know, you can obviously tell that he switched into the management role of Guerrillas of Destiny. So he is very, very, very slow. He looks very rusty in the ring, and I love the Guerrillas of Destiny. A lot of people think that they're boring, but I don't think they're boring. I just think that they get in these really bad matches, and they need to tell the president and the booker of New Japan, no, I'm not going to do the stupid shit that you see on the programming, because they like to throw them in to these dumb scenarios, and they are so much better than that, especially with Taguchi. I don't like watching him. I think his gimmick is the stupidest thing I've seen outside of WWE television, and that includes a lot of the outlaw stuff. It includes Juice Robinson, or not Juice Robinson. Who's that? Orange Cassidy. I don't like him either, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Next up, we actually have a 10-man tag match, which was insane. It was a lot of bodies in that ring. It was Kota Ibushi, one of my favorite wrestlers. Nagata, Jushin Thunder Liger, my personal mentor, Tiger Mask, and Soto Umino versus Naito, Evil, Sanda, Shingo, and Bushi from the LIJ, which is one of my favorite factions as well. I love them. They're probably like my third or fourth favorite faction in professional wrestling. Tiger Mask, why is he still wrestling, by the way? This is supposed to be Jushin Thunder Liger's retirement tour, which makes me sad personally because, like I told you guys, he was a mentor for me when I was in Okinawa wrestling. He's a really good guy. Tiger Mask, Tiger Mask 4, so there was 4 guys before him. When are they going to bring back Black Tiger Mask, by the way? Because I know the Tiger Mask thing and the Black Tiger Mask was based off of either the anime was made because of them, or maybe they were based off of the anime. I'm not exactly... I don't remember that because that was back in the 70s. Of course, I wasn't alive during that time. It was the 70s, the 80s, when that anime had came out. The wrestling one. The New Japan Wrestling anime. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. But, Tiger Mask, wow. I thought that the Iron Pitbull and Sato were slow. Holy cow, Tiger Mask looks like garbage in that ring. Whoever that guy is under the mask, he needs to pass it down so we could get Tiger Mask 5, a younger guy, because looking at him wrestle is probably the worst moves I think I've seen in wrestling probably in the past 5 years. I would have to say that The Undertaker versus Bill Goldberg at Super Showdown, that shit of a match, that terrible match, that insulted professional wrestling everywhere. At least those guys move faster than Tiger Mask. I mean, holy cow. I was watching him in the 2 spots that he had. Oh, man, it was bad. It was bad. I watched it, and just he needs to hang up the boots as well. But anyways, Tiger and Bushi. Bushi is one of my favorites as well. They lock up and work to the ropes. Bushi follows with kicks and strikes, but Tiger fires back with kicks. Liger tags in. Literally, Tiger Mask got like 30 seconds in, which was long enough for me. But anyways, Liger tags in and Bushi fights them off as LIJ clears out the faces as they brawl to the floor. Evil tags in and works over Liger. Evil's another really cool character, keeping him grounded and tagging in Sanada, the Cold Skull Sanada. He's pretty cool too. He attacks Liger's knee, which Liger was selling like crazy. But Umino breaks up the Paradise Lock and brawls with Shingo. He's cut off as Sana gets the Paradise Lock on Liger in the ropes. The dropkick follows and Bushi tags back in, choking out Liger with a shirt, which I never really understood the shirt spot. But Liger fights back, hits the backbreaker, which was beautiful, by the way. And he is retiring. That turtle backbreaker was absolutely stunning, perfectly done. Good job, Jushin Thunder Liger. And you're the one that's retiring, not Tiger Mask. But whatever. But Naito tags in and Liger turns him inside out with a shote. Nagata tags in and the New Japan dad runs wild on Father's Day. That's right, today is Father's Day. Serve up some justice, Dad. The running boot and exploder follows for number 2 for a 2 count. That's right, his exploder is his like signature move. Naito fires back, but Nagata takes out the knee and locks in the armbar till Bushi makes the save. I have to say, Naito was bleeding from his mouth. I don't know if he took like a crazy shot. I don't know exactly what happened, but there was quite a bit of blood that's coming out of his mouth. Ibushi tags in and hits missile dropkick. Back in, and Ibushi lays in a flurry of strikes, but Naito counters the standing moonsault with knees. Shingo tags in, but Ibushi hits double Pele's to him, which looked absolutely beautiful, which is the backflip kick like the soccer player Pele. He does the bicycle kick into the goal. To he and Sanada. Umino gets the hit tag, battles with Shingo, and follows with the suplex for a 2 count. He looks for an armbar, but Shingo rolls to the ropes. Shingo fights off the German the suplex, and LIJ runs wild on Umino, and the faces make the save. It breaks down, and Nashigami on Umino gets 2. The Pumpkin Bomber destroys Umino for a win. So LIJ wins the match. They beat Ibushi, Nagata, Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, and Umino in 10 minutes and 40 seconds via pinfall. It was just too much. I think it was just too many bodies in that match. I normally like 6-man tags. It's a little bit more cleaner. 10-man tags, like I said, that's just way too many people. Way too many. So, yeah, something that happened after the match. LIJ, they try to do like their fist bump that they always do, and Evil actually refused to do it because they're all in a faction. He actually just jumps out of the ring. He's like, "Fuck you guys! I'm not gonna sit there and fist bump like you." His look, it was pretty good. They then released the G129 like roster, like who's going to compete, but I told you guys I would do that at the end, so I will do that at the end. Alright, so next is a 6-man tag. Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Ace, Togi Makabe, and Toru Yano versus Jay White, Switchblade, Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp, and Chase Owens. Chase Owens, the hidden gem. This is obviously Jay White, Takahashi, and Chase Owens are in the Bullet Club. Chase Owens, they say that he lost 15 pounds. Good for him. He's doing a lot to get himself back in shape. I don't know if he was injured for an extended period of time, but he looks like crap. He is fat, which I remember watching him in PWG, and he was like a ripped cruiserweight. I know he's going into heavyweight for New Japan, and holy cow, he makes Chris Jericho's dad bod days look like he is like a swimsuit model. My God, he looks terrible. But good thing he lost 15 pounds. Hopefully he continues to lose weight because he does not look like an athlete like he did in PWG, which he was only in PWG a couple years ago, so it's not like he's old. He's actually a pretty young guy. But anyways, Makabe and Jiro begin with Makabe taking control. It's Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp, which actually he came back from injury as well. So working over he and Owens, Yano tags in and removes the buckle pad, but gets cut off right away. I really don't understand Yano's gimmick with he has like this, not a water bottle, but it's like a juice box that he like spits out like Triple H does, and then he throws the jukebox at the fans. Like he actually hit somebody in the face. If you actually see it slowly, he hits one of the fans in the face. Some guy that's sitting maybe like row 3 or row 4. Pretty brutal stuff, but either way. So Yano tags in and removes the buckle pad, but gets cut off right away. The Tokyo Pimp then works him on the floor, and they attack Makabe as well. Bullet Club in control here. Isolation Yano back into the ring. White tags in, and the Netbreaker connects for 2 counts. White maintains the heat, grounding Yano, and then working him over in the corner. Yano manages to get the tag, and Tanahashi hits Dragon Screw on White, which looks amazing. I love Tanahashi. He's the ace. Him and Jay White are having like a feud. Well, it's between him and Jay White, and him and Chris Jericho as well, after what Chris Jericho did to Okada in Dominion last week. But yeah, Jiro makes the save. Oh, because Tanahashi gets in the Texas Cloverleaf on White. This was submission hold. Jiro makes the save, and then he gets a Dragon Screw as well, but White lays chops in on Tanahashi. German suplex follows, but Tanahashi counters back and hits twist and shout, which is his signature move. Tags to Maccabi and Owens, and Maccabi lays in the corner, strikes on Owens, and follows with a Northern Lights suplex, which looked brutal, especially on Owens, because Owens, I don't think, landed too well, and he got a 2 count out of that. Owens and Euro cut him off, working double teams, and Yano makes the save. Owen hits the final cut for 2, which is his signature. Maccabi fights off a package pile driver, hits a lariat, and slam. The King Kong knee drop is stopped by a Euro slam. Yano makes the save, but Tanahashi accidentally runs into him. Maccabi is left on its own. The numbers get to him. Owens cradles him with the tights for the win. Bullet Club beats Tanahashi, Maccabi, and Yano at 11 minutes and 5 seconds via pinfall, which is a roll-up. Okay. I hate roll-ups, cradles as finishes. I think that is the laziest finish in pro wrestling history, especially after you hit a bunch of these big moves. Like, I understand people are, oh, there's a reason for it, because the heels, normally it'd be heels that win via roll-ups. They need the roll-up to kind of cheat because they always hold the tights. They always pull on the tights to give them leverage because their finishers don't work or the baby faces kick out of their signatures and so on and so forth. I still think it is a lazy finish in a wrestling match. You should pin them. Like, if you're going to use a roll-up, use it maybe once every while. And I do mean that as a while, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, because I think it's just an overused spot in professional wrestling today. Especially, there was this big thing about WWE and Ring of Honor where all the wrestlers would hit their finishers left, right, boom, 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 spot after spot after spot, and then there would be a roll-up pin because your tombstone pile driver apparently didn't work, but a stupid schoolboy will. It looks bad. It looks sloppy to me. So, but, it's all good. Next match is another 6-man tag with the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Okada, Yoshihashi, and Toa Henare versus Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Lance Archer. Lance Archer, 6'8". I'm pretty sure he's probably 6'8" in the boots, maybe 6'9" in the boots. But he reminds me, I think he's like New Japan's version of like The Undertaker. He does a lot of choke slams. He does a lot of, maybe Kane, not The Undertaker. There's a lot of choke slams. He's kind of like a monster dude in New Japan. Love Zack Sabre Jr., by the way. I've always liked him. Always back What Culture Wrestling. I watched a lot of his stuff. But Sabre and Hashi begin. They lock up and Sabre grounds the action. He works into a slick counters. Hashi looks for the butterfly lock, but Sabre escapes. They trade chops and strikes with Hashi taking control. He looks for the draping drop kick. Sabre counters into a heel hook and then drags Hashi to the floor, punishing the knee, which Hashi sold like a champ, by the way. Suzuki drags Okada to the floor. Suzuki is mad, by the way, because he is not in the G1, but I will explain later. Or at least my thoughts on it. Yeah, Suzuki drags Okada to the floor, pummeling him as Archer promises death to everyone in the G1. Back in the ring, Sabre and Suzuki torture Hashi with a double team submission as Archer takes out the others and distracts the ref. Archer now starts punishing Hashi with the corner attacks and mows him down with a shoulder tackle. Sabre back in and lays and kicks until Hashi cuts him off with a clothesline. Suzuki tags in and runs into a spin kick, which looked amazing, by the way. Okada gets the tag, runs wild on Suzuki. He was really doing a lot of shine work, Okada. But, of course, Okada's their heavyweight champion, so He's there for a reason. It's not WWE heavyweight champs where they just hand belts to people. You actually have to earn your stuff there. The elbow and DDT follow for a 2. Okada hits a slam, but Suzuki fires up and pummels him with strikes in the corner. He shoves the ref away, hits the running boot, and the PK follows. Suzuki was shoving the referee because of his anger of not being in the G1. He told a big story in this match, by the way, which I was very impressed with. But they trade strikes. Center ring, Suzuki is pissed and starts lining up Okada and drops him. The Kimura lock follows, which looked amazing. He refuses the break as Okada makes to the ropes, just cranking away on the arm. Suzuki is torturing Okada and finally breaks. Oh yeah, he was like really angry about not going into the G1, and you could definitely tell on his facial expressions and everything. He was like mentally, like he started mentally going crazy. It was actually really good. He goes back into the arm. Archer wants in and tags himself in. Like, it was a weird spot. Archer just kind of like slaps his hand to make like a tag noise. The referee was behind him or had his back turned. He was dealing with the others, the baby faces, and he just makes the tag symbol, not actually seeing a tag. That was a little weird. I didn't get it either. But shoulder tackle by Hiner. Oh, I'm sorry. Okada fires up and hits with a drop kick, on Archer. Hiner tags in from Okada, and they trade strikes. Shoulder tackle by Hiner, and the Samoan drop follows. The suplex follows for a 2 count. The faces isolate Archer, working him over, but the Suzuki gun makes the comeback as Suzuki chokes out Okada. Saber heel hooks Hashi. Oh, that's right. They're all in the ring, and they're all like doing like these crazy they're all in the ring at the same time, and 2 of them are doing submissions, and Archer is choke slams. But it says Archer hits the choke slam, and blackout, which is a claw, like you remember the old like Texas claws, like the hand over the head, on Hiner for the 2, and he pulls up Hiner because he's heel, establishing that he's gonna kill everybody in the G1, so on and so forth. The claw follows, and Hiner taps, so he gets him in. The claw, after he pulls him up, gets him back in. He taps. I didn't think he tapped. I thought he like passed out, but whichever. Suzuki Gun defeated Okada, Hashi, and Hinari at 14 minutes and 40 seconds via submission. I have been forgetting to do the star ratings on these matches. I do apologize, but I will do it on this one. This match, I would say, was out of 5, was a 4. Told a lot of story on, like, Zack Sabre Jr. was not really a big deal in this match. He wasn't really in it all that much, which I don't know if he was, because he took a beating in Dominion, so that's probably what it was. Why he wasn't in the match, he was probably sore as hell. But yeah, Archer, I'm sold. Archer looked really good. Really good. Suzuki, amazing. He told a lot of story. He obviously was the main guy in that ring for this the Suzuki Gun faction because he was pissed off about not being in the G1. So, good stuff though. Suzuki cuts a promo questioning his G1 exclusion. He wants in and wants to hurt people, demanding a play in the match. He is not pleased at all. No, he was not. He cut a really good promo at the end. Obviously, they had the English translators there and everything, so just in case you don't understand Japanese, you could just listen to when the English commentators translate for you. He was pretty pissed. He looked amazing, by the way. He reminds me a lot of Taz with the towel over his head when he comes out. But either way. Main event time, guys. IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. As you see on the screen, the champions, Sho and Ho, versus the challengers from the Bullet Club, El Phantasmo and the Bone Soldier, Ishimori. Love the Bone Soldier. He's cool. Uh, I like his mask. His entrance is really cool as well. So, Yo and Ishimori begin. They lock up and work to the mat. Ishimori fights to his feet. They work in the counters, and Ishimori locks in on a head scissors. Yoi counters out and follows with arm drags and a drop kick. Sho tags in and double teams follow. They take out Phantasmo and Yo following with a plancha. Yoi is busted open on the floor. He was bleeding from either the side of his head or maybe behind his ear. But there was a lot of blood on his shoulder and down his neck. A lot of us speculate maybe he hit Phantasmo like on the shoulder joint or maybe like a bone or something. But he did a crossbody outside. Obviously high spot, high risk move, high spot, and maybe he hit him or maybe hit the guardrail. We don't know exactly what happened, but he was bleeding, like I said, from behind the ear or maybe the side of the head. Refs were checking on him. They were, he was a total fighter about it, but they were checking on him. They were seeing like what happened to it, but they obviously continue the match. So Yoi is busted open on the floor. Phantasmo cuts off Sho, and the Lion Salt gets a 2. He took that out of Chris Jericho's playbook. He follows with strikes. Ishimori tags back in and follows with chops. Phantasmo tags back in and does the back rake off the ropes. Phantasmo, I love this guy. He is a really good heel for New Japan. He obviously is the white guy with the glowing jacket on the screen. This guy is amazing. He is a funny heel, but not stupid funny. He just does a lot of heelish moves, kind of like MJF, but he doesn't have like the attitude MJF has. Either way, so he chokes out Sho, tags in Ishimori, and he clears out Yoi and lays in chops. They double team Sho into the Tree of Woe, and Phantasmo stomps on his balls until Sho hits a Spider German and then a suplex on Ishimori. Tag to Yo, and he runs wild on Phantasmo. The Dragon Screw follows, but he gets dumped to the floor and slammed into the barricade. Looked brutal, by the way. He took that bump like a champ. Yoi makes it back in, and Phantasmo hits a Senton Atomico for a 2 count. Ishimori back in and follows with chops. Sliding German connects, and he covers for a 2. Ishimori grounds the action. Yoi tries to fight to his feet. It's a jawbreaker, but Phantasmo stops the tag. Yoi is trapped in the Tree of Woe. Phantasmo stomps on his balls and falls with a basement dropkick. Yoi counters back and hits an enziguri, but Ishimori cuts off the tag. Phantasmo follows with strikes and chops, but Yoi hits the double dropkick and suplexes Ishimori into Phantasmo. I have to say that Yo did a lot of work in this match. He took a lot of beating as a babyface. It was crazy. Sho was on that apron for a very, very long time. Give it up to a Bullet Club for cutting off the ring, by the way. Perfect ring style, like where you want to do as a tag team, especially as heels. You want to cut off the ring, keep the guy that you're beating up away from his fresh partner. It was great. Well done. This was a well done tag team match, by the way. Yo makes the tag to Sho, and he hits forever clotheslines. Oh, he just clotheslined the hell out of those two in the corners. He follows that with a double spear and on Ishimori and Phantasmo. Ishimori counters the German. He was going for a German suplex, and the back handspring kick follows. They trade strikes, lariat by Sho, and turns him inside out with another. Shock arrow is countered, double stomp by Ishimori, and Yo and Phantasmo tag back in. Phantasmo hits a flurry of kicks. They work into counters, and Yo hits the final cut, which is his signature, for 2. They work up top, and Phantasmo hits the Sunset Bomb, which looked amazing. The Frog Splash follows for 2. Phantasmo missed the BME, which is his finisher. And Yo locks in a Stargazer, the calf killer. If you guys don't know what Stargazer is, it's a submission hold. Has Show arm bars Ishimori as Phantasmo makes the ropes. There's a spot where they were in, both of them were in their submission locks in the middle of the ring, and Phantasmo was actually going to tap, but Ishimori actually grabs his hand, and it was just the scene that it just looked funny because he was like about to tap, and then Ishimori just like takes his hand out, shoots it right where the mat is, and he's like slapping his hand. It was a good spot. But so Phantasmo makes it to the ropes. They break it. They double team Phantasmo, looking for the 3K, which is Show and Yo's finisher move, tag finisher. But Phantasmo counters with a DDT. Ishimori takes out Show, kicks a belt to Phantasmo, and lays out Yo with it. The Argentine cutter follows, and the cover gets only a 2 count actually after a title shot. Normally when they hit the other guys with a title, with a belt, they normally are out for the 3, but apparently not this time. CR2 is stopped by Show. They double team. CR2 is Phantasmo's finisher. They double team Phantasmo, take out Ishimori, and the 3K connects. But Ishimori makes the save barely. It was close. They really had that spot down perfectly, by the way. Knee strike by Show, and the top, and the Taupe Con Hello follows. Yo hits the German and gets the 2 on Phantasmo. Show back in and hits the lumbar check. It breaks down, and we get a ref bump. Yeah, the ref takes this weird bump. The CR2 follows, and Yo and Ishimori and El Phantasmo of the Bullet Club defeat the champions for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships in a very good match. Out of 5, I would say is a 4.5 star. Very good match. Very good, strong moves. You believed a lot of the moves. There wasn't too much craziness going in. You know, there wasn't like any bullshit spots. Yo took the beating like a champ. A true babyface. I'm talking about like Ricky Morton babyface. True babyface all the way until the end. He was amazing, especially he was bleeding from his, I don't know if his ear or side of his head, but he looked fantastic when he tagged in Show, when he tagged in Show. That crowd went crazy because he was selling very well, Ricky Morton style selling, getting the fans behind him. They were really a good babyface tag team. This was a great match. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars, maybe even be 4.5 if it wasn't for that weird retarded ref bump that I hated, because they whipped him into the corner. They were going to whip him into the corner, and the referee was already, kind of, he was kind of like, he knew it was coming, so he kind of prepped himself for a Irish whip into the corner, but I guess they connected like wrong. It was a botch. Phantasmo botched on, I think it was Show that ended up hitting the ref. They botched it. They went for Irish whip. I guess like their hands like disconnected or something. So he had to spin him back around Phantasmo and then try another Irish whip. So the ref was already like in the position to take the bump. He just didn't take the bump. It looked horrible. But other than that, a near perfect match, and we have new champions. Now, the G1 29, it was the middle of the show. They gave you the fighters who was going to compete in that tournament, and if you know anything about the G1, is Block A and Block B. And of course, the winner of Block A wrestles the winner of Block B. So, G129 Block A, you have Okada, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., Tanahashi, the Ace, Ibushi, Evil, Sonata, Bad Luck Fale of Bullet Club, Lance Archer, Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, and Kenta, who was the guy that they had that showed up at Dominion, surprised everybody. The place went crazy. He's a great wrestler. I'm excited to see him back in the ring. And Block A is going to be one hell of a tournament. Right there, they have with Okada, Tanahashi, Ibushi, Balak Fale. I'm over him. Lance Archer, Will Ospreay, Kenta, Evil. I mean, it's just that Block A is stacked. Stacked. I have my prediction that Okada is going to win that, mainly because he's Okada. Like, he's a severely pushed wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Block B of the G129 is Tetsuya Naito, Shingo, Big Tom Ishii, which is I'll talk about that later. Juice Robinson, Toru Yano, Goto, Jay White, Jeff Cobb from Ring of Honor, Taichi, and Jon Moxley, also known as Dean Ambrose for all you WWE hicks. Jon Moxley, I'm excited to see what he's going to do in this. Tetsuya Naito, big name, obviously. Ishii, the Iron Pitbull, I have no idea why he's in. I still don't get it. I don't get his push. I don't get him. They should have put in Suzuki instead of him. I wasn't a big fan of Ishii being called. He's the only one I really have a big bitch about on this whole block, this whole G1. And I have a big feeling that they're going to try to push him. He's old. He can't go with these guys. You could tell. Juice Robinson is going to be amazing. I know they're probably going to rematch Juice Robinson and Jon Moxley because of the United States Championship match that a lot of people were saying was the best match of the year. I watched it, and I tend to agree with them because that was one hell of a fight. That will probably be the final, Juice Robinson versus Jon Moxley in Block B, which I think Jon Moxley will win. So I'm pretty sure we'll see Jon Moxley versus Okada, which is going to be one hell of a match, by the way. That is my prediction on the finals, and I think that the G1 will be won by Jon Moxley. I have to say, Jon Moxley, he's got one hell of a push in New Japan Pro Wrestling, probably the biggest push of wrestling, period. Obviously, leaving the WWE, talking straight shit about the WWE Creative, which we all know, like dozens of wrestlers have said this, so it must be true if everybody's saying it about WWE. He wins the United States, the IWGP United States Championship literally on his debut match in New Japan when he beat Juice Robinson, like I said, in that hell of a match. Really good. Definitely a 4. I don't give like 5 stars away, by the way. A 4.5, definitely out of 5. A wonderful match. Absolutely fantastic. I would like to see Ibushi also pushed. Like I say, he's just one of my favorite wrestlers. Tanahashi is going to be interesting. I don't think Tanahashi is going to make it very far in Block A in the G1 or the G1 period, mainly because him and Chris Jericho, I think, are going to have like this feud that goes on probably until, August. I know Chris Jericho's doing like his retirement dream tour and everything, but that's just my opinion on it. I think Tanahashi, even though he is one of the most popular Japanese wrestlers in New Japan, I think the only person that's probably more popular than him is Okada. I just don't see anybody in this winning except for Okada out of Block A. Which they're all good wrestlers. Okada is too over, I think, in New Japan. If they didn't have him in there, it would have been interesting to see Block A. I think Tanahashi would have took it, or maybe Ibushi. But other than that, I don't really see anybody winning Block A except for Okada. Just by his push. I could be completely wrong. I probably am, but that's okay. Like I said, Block B, Jon Moxley will be most likely your winner, which will become one hell of a final, by the way, the G1 final, which will be, of course, Jon Moxley. In my opinion, Jon Moxley versus Okada, and I think Moxley will beat Okada to become the G1 29 winner. So that's just me. If you have any suggestions, comments, please leave them down below. This is exciting. I'm excited for the G1. I only have one complaint, one bitch, is Ishii. Don't know why he's still in. I don't know why they're still pushing him. That is the stupidest thing, but whatever. Hopefully he loses really quickly. I think he will because of these names. Shingo, Juice Robinson, Yano, Jay White, Jeff Cobb. There's just a lot of guys here that are big names, and Ishii is dwarfed by a lot of these names in Block B. So hopefully he doesn't make it all the way to the end like a couple years ago. Granted, Kenny Omega did pull him on that match. It was just carry him, as we call it. Carry him in that match. It was still, he's definitely past his prime. That's for certain. But anyways, guys, like I said, if you guys have any comments about this show, if you saw it, please let me know your own thoughts and opinions on this show. Leave them down in the comments. If you would like to help out this channel, please leave a like or dislike, a comment, rate, subscribe, share. Do what you guys can to get this channel out there. I really do appreciate everything you guys do for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody who is giving me some love out there, likes, comments, whatever. Keep them coming, guys. Like I said, you guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be uploading this as soon as I am done recording. So this will be out actually on Sunday. I will try to keep these either the day of, if it's New Japan, because they're on early enough, or the day after, like WWE and everybody else in America who kind of does their bell times at 7 to 9 or whatever, or 8 to 11 if you're Raw. So it'll be on the next morning. I will do my best to keep up with these. I do watch a lot of wrestling, so please bear with me a little bit. This is something new that I'm trying out. If I butcher some of these names and moves, I do apologize. Moves change in pro wrestling literally every day, so like I said, bear with me on that, and I will be making sure that I do my best to give you guys results. I'll also do better to rate these matches than I do this time. I like rated half of them and didn't rate the other half, but that is okay. Like I said, this is new. I got to work out all my kinks. So yeah. But anyways, guys, have a wonderful Sunday. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow with content out of the ass. I'm talking about Total War. I'm talking about The Witcher. I'm talking about Vampire. I'm talking about day 2 of Kizuna Road 2019. I mean, we're just boom, 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 boom. So you guys will definitely get some much needed content, man. Hours upon hours of viewing. YouTube ain't gonna like me. That's okay. YouTube complains about a lot, but whatever. So yeah, guys. Like I said, man, enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with some content. But until then, take care for now.